Ipob gives conditions to end agitation. Welcome to the news, and thank you for tuning in to listen. Queries DSS role in Orji Carlo's visit to Nnamdi Kanu. Ex-governor, part of not solution to Igbo problems. Nnamdi Kanu's family alleges as group comments visits. From Everest, Ozihi Oweri and Chidi Asonye Umahia. The indigenous people of Biafra, Ipob, says there would be no end to its agitation except President Muhammadu Buhari's government sets a date to hold a referendum on the secession of the southeast region of Nigeria. According to a press statement endorsed by the spokesperson of a group, Ima Powerful, the Nigerian government must bear one thing in mind. Ipob is not fighting to restructure. We are not fighting against restructuring, but our demand is not restructuring. Powerful insisted that Ipob's demand is the restoration of the Biafran state, just as he posited that all we need is a date for the referendum to decide whether or not we want to continue with this forced marriage. He further urged those who think Nigeria is ready for restructuring to have a rethink, just as he pointed out that those currently benefiting from the present lopsidedness have made restructuring impossible and so are very unlikely to heed the clamor for restructuring. The statement read in part, restoration of the sovereign state of Biafra is a divine mandate. Our eternal leader Dim Chukwuemeka Odumegwu told them to restructure Nigeria. They said no and killed millions of Biafrans in the war. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the indigenous people of Biafra, Ipob, did not come on board to demand to restructure. We are for total freedom and independence, Ipob also pointed out in the press statement. This is even as the indigenous people of Biafra, Ipob, on Tuesday rejected the visit by former Abia State Governor Orji Carlo to its detained leader Nnamdi Kanu on Tuesday, claiming that it violated a court-ordered guideline for visit to their leader, who has been in the custody of the Director of State Services, Department of State Services, DSS. The lead counsel to Ipob, Ifeanyi Ejiofor, stated in a statement he issued from Owerri that the group had commenced an investigation into why the Department of State Services, DSS, should allow the former governor to visit their leader. According to Ejiofor, we can at best describe what transpired on Tuesday between a visitor whom the detaining authority ostensibly aided to violate the court's ordered guideline for visiting our client as bizarre and unusual. The DSS is not oblivious of the terms of the court's guideline, which they have consistently maintained in the past that it must be obeyed to the later, and through which position they had denied many friends and attorneys of our client access to him. However, caution was thrown to the wind yesterday, and instead of insisting on this full compliance with the existing guideline, the DSS, for reasons best known to them, allowed a visitor access to a client even before the time scheduled for the formal visit and without his lawyers being present during the visit. It is of serious concern that the visit was conducted without strict adherence to the court-ordered guideline, but more condescending that the visit later became a subject of political gimmicks. If our client's attorneys, his flesh and blood brothers and wife, would visit him in due compliance with the court-ordered guideline, how can the DSS authorize a visit from any person in gross violation of this guideline? There is more to it than meets the eye, which the Department of State Services, DSS, is now under a compelling duty to explain to us. Granted that his name appeared among the list submitted at the 11th hour alongside the names of the lawyers scheduled for the visit, but heavily proceeding to conduct the visits without us being present in line with the requirements of the guideline left us with many unanswered questions. We have initiated a formal process towards ensuring a thorough investigation of what transpired yesterday, and we shall not hesitate to formally address the world on this subject if there is an attempt to sweep a petition under the carpet. It was their view that the order of the court and terms as laid down guideline to regulate visit to a client is to ensure his maximum protection from persons who may wish to secretly seize the opportunity to hurt or intimidate him into accepting a false narrative outside the dungeon where he is being illegally detained. And they could achieve this through threats or coercion. Hence the need for the presence of his lawyers before granting any audience. We may not wish to speak further on this subject or even discuss our client's position on this visit, pending the outcome of the investigation on the DSS authorized violation of the court ordered. It should be recalled that Abia State former Governor Oduzo Carlo posted saying, "This afternoon I visited my brother Mazin Nnamdi Kanu in the Department of State Services DSS custody, Abuja. I met him in good health and care, and we discussed as Umunna. In 2001, when I was governor, I made his father Eze Israel Okukano the traditional ruler of Afaruku, and since then, the family has been very close to me," they stated. Family replies Ojekalo says ex-governor part of, not solution to Igbo problems. Meanwhile, former governor of Abia State and the Senate's chief whip, Senator Oduzo Carlo, has come under fire over media remarks after meeting with the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Ipob, Mazin Nnamdi Kanu, at the Abuja headquarters of the Department of State Services DSS, where he is currently detained. Iked by the statements credited to Carlo after the meeting, Kanu's family expressed rage and disappointment over what it has called confusing, incoherent, disparaging, and uncomplimentary remarks by the senator representing Abia North.